Samvat year 2081 has been a challenging year for equity investors. The returns have been muted in the current Samvat year. However, if you look at a 3-year period, the returns have been quite satisfying for investors. The year 2081 has also been a crucial year as the world has changed significantly. The geopolitics, the tariffs, the uncertainties and multiple wars have clouded the horizon, and we are looking forward to more clarity as we move in 2082 Samvat. Some of the other emerging markets also, after years of underperformance, have bounced back. And of course, the US markets continue to be on a roll. But in the US, it is the Magnificent Seven which have produced the bulk of the returns, and the rest of the US markets have not grown at the same speed. So in this fast changing economic world, how does a saver and investor think about the future? First, I think the Indian trend line of saver becoming the investor continues at pace. We continue to see significant flows into mutual funds and equity markets. 2, the current tax regime of higher tax on income versus gains is also supportive of the saver turning investor. 3, the government has made changes both in zero tax up to 12 lakhs and GST cuts, which should support the domestic economy. However, this is a time for every Indian to be paranoid, to think about a tougher world outside India. We should get out of our comfort, convenience, and complacency zones to build an India and an Indian business which is ready to take on the world. I wish the corporate India, in which investors have reposed such faith, will wake up to this challenge and focus on building companies sustainably for the future and improve over time the earnings of the companies so that the current high PE ratios get justified and for investors to continue putting money into the equity markets. At the securities firms, the firms have to take a more medium-term view about their customers. It is about investment. It's about making sure that fundamental basis of investing is the core to the philosophy. This excessive focus on churn as the basis of driving investor and saver behavior needs to change to make investors more committed and get sustained returns in the markets. And in that context, I'm glad that Kotak Securities is making its changes, focusing on improving its product, including its technology platform and the front-end digital engine, namely Kotak Neo. However, every Indian, whether it is a corporate or a financial sector player, needs to be in a mindset of wanting India to grow and not taking it for granted. I wish every customer of Kotak Securities a wonderful Samvat 2082, hopefully better than the returns of 2081, but being aware that don't assume high profits as a given. A much more supportive geopolitical environment, a strong domestic commitment for India to grow faster than the rest of the world, and corporate India to shake up its comfort and complacency are key for India's future. And investors must make sure that their money is taken care of by companies who want to raise money from investors. And I am a great believer in India's capital markets and India's future. However, let us not take it for granted and build an India where every investor looks at India over the medium term and makes India happen. And from the Kotak stable, I am committed to integrity, transparency, and doing what is right by our customer. Thank you and wish you a very happy Samvat 2082.